This morning, we are continuing the conversation about disturbing videos that we discovered, the I-Team, online involving local children and an app. Parents probably have no idea that their kids have downloaded. So last night on the news at 5, we revealed startling video of young girls, look at this, dancing and talking with strangers who were watching them on an app called Live Me. See, this young girl is wearing a low-cut tank top, talking to followers who at one point asked her to take off her jacket. Live Me allows users to live stream audio and video, and anyone can watch. Now, we just showed you one girl who told followers where she lives. Another one actually called a follower who sent her her cell phone number. And as Vic Micolucci explained, this is an app that has 20 million users. In addition to him alerting the FBI to what he found, we also showed the app to a Clay County Sheriff's deputy who is a father of 3 and former sex crimes detective.
With my daughter, I would be highly concerned about this and overwhelmingly bothered if I knew that my daughter was on this app with 364 complete strangers watching her sit in her bedroom. I'll be making contact with our cybercrime detectives after this to make sure they're up to speed on this.
So Clay County detectives tell us also that they have investigated 2 cases where local girls were solicited for sex on Live Me. Now, the app does warn users that sexual or violent content is strictly prohibited and that all violators will be banned. Live Me administrators told us that employees are looking for inappropriate and illegal contact, but we just showed you what we found. So this is about, you know, having a conversation again and again with your kids. How do you talk with them about this, these kinds of online dangers? What are the red flags that you should be looking for? Psychologist Justin Dorenzo is joining us now this morning. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
What's interesting about this too is that we look at something like this through the eyes of what we do as our profession, but also as parents. I have 2 children. You have 4.
I have 4, yes.
What makes these kids so vulnerable, it seems, to wanting to kind of, you know, show themselves dancing maybe in a small sports bra and get all of these likes? This fascination with as many people liking it as possible is unreal.
We forget that we are not dealing with little adults. We're dealing with children that do not have developed brains yet. So those undeveloped brains and immature brains predispose them to recklessness, poor judgment, and then also that need to get all that approval from their peer group. And you think about when you and I grew up, our peer group were our teens.
Right.
Now the peer group is worldwide. And when kids hear the dings and they get little special badges, I mean, it is designed to reinforce them and to even keep them from sharing more. And this is really scary to me. I did some research about this site too, and read that there have been 90 million downloads to this thing. And it's such an important topic too. 92% of kids today daily look at social media. And I read last night that 39% of teenagers have sent sexually explicit material through social media. So every parent needs to pay attention to this. This is really important stuff.
And do you think, because I feel like as a news agency, we're constantly warning parents about this. Is it that they just make assumptions about their kids? Oh, well, they're so young and, well, they don't have a phone. They only have an iPad, that they're just not aware that this is going on?
Yeah, I think, again, it's believing that they're little adults and it would never be my kid. Kids, you know, parents are in denial about what their children are doing. I mean, in my practice, I hear about it. I hear the worst stories all the time. It's really important to build a culture of communication with your kids. You got to have open lines of communication. What I have said to my children is, there is no problem that I can't help you with. I can fix anything. And I said to my teenage daughter last night, because this story reminded me that I needed to re-engage this conversation. I said, even if you, of course, you are to never send pictures or videos, but if somebody convinces you and they're trying to extort you to send more, you know, you come to tell me, I will fix this problem. And that parents need to instill that trust in their kids so kids know that their parents can fix anything.
Yeah, I feel like part of that is also, I think that perhaps children think, well, if I tell mom and dad, I'll get into trouble. You almost have to have that conversation is that, look, as long as you're honest, you're not going to get in trouble as long as we can talk about this before you make a mistake that you can't take back.
Right, and empathizing with your kids about what peer pressure is, because kids often, even with social media, kids will say, don't tell your mom what I said. and you hear about it. So I mean, and that can be that can be the beginning of the conversation.
Let's talk about some other steps. I mean, I think that's fantastic, engaging constantly. Don't have one conversation, but multiple conversations with your kids about this. What about these tablets and these cell phones? You know, do we as parents need to limit where kids can have these? Because as we saw in Vic's story, many of these, you know, the parents were downstairs and the kids are upstairs in their bedroom and mom and dad have no idea what's going on.
Right. There absolutely should be some limit. Tablets, cell phones, they need to come out of the bedrooms at nighttime, and also when you're not seeing your child. And you really need to download some smart apps the child is downloading. I know there's smart apps to your phone, so you can monitor an app that we have to grant approval to what your children is accessing, and also our kids.
Yeah, what is that? What do you use?
What apps the child is downloading. I know there's a family share, an app that we have to grant approval to.
So you can serve it. Yeah, you can search it to find
to our kids.
These then to help
there are
parents
so
who
many
feel
apps.
like a little ignorant when it comes to that kind of technology.
Absolutely.
Are there certain warning signs with kids that they may be doing something like this that you can spot?
You know, there are. If a child becomes excessively secretive, or if they become aggressive when you're trying to stop them from looking at social media, or if they're being, or if they're all of a sudden using excessively, or if they are suddenly getting gifts or money is coming to them.
Okay, very good point. Justin, thank you for being here.
Of course,
Such
my
an
pleasure.
important conversation to have with our viewers. Just a note here, Teen Safe, which is a nonprofit organization that helps bring awareness to this. It's not just Live Me that they have warned about, but also Snapchat, Kick, Tinder, Down, and Yubo. So keep all of that, please, in mind. Please go to news4jax.com, click under the iTeam section, and look for Vic's story. It is eye-opening, parents. You need this.